Hi, mystery writers. Welcome to Write a Killer Mystery. And today we're going to talk about, are you crafting your writing craft? With some tips about how to improve your writing craft. First, I want to thank my patrons on Patreon for their continued support of this video series and my mystery writing. And if you'd like to become a patron, there's a link in the description below. I'd love to see you there. There's special perks for patrons. All right, so are you crafting your writing craft? You can always be a better writer. You can always be a better writer. And in today's self-publishing world, the emphasis is on book production, and that can take us away from thinking about craft, but it's still important. And so it's emphasis to get the books out as quickly as possible, but you're doing yourself and your readers a disfavor if you're not also thinking about your craft. The more you write, the better you write, but you can shortcut your improvements by using craft improvement aids. And as you use the aids, you improve your judgment about your writing, which improves your thinking about your writing, which improves your writing as you are writing. You'll counter critiques from other writers and from editors and stand firm in your knowledge of the story writing craft. The more that you know, the better you are at applying your skill and your judgment to your craft. Okay, so first of all is writing. However much you look for craft improvement aids for writing improvement, writing is the best way to improve. Just keep writing. So look back at your first writing attempts. I'm sure you have improved since then. I know I have. Don't wince. Just be proud of your writing growth, because it is true. The more you write, the better your writing. And as you write, you become attuned to words that work, syntax that flows, and paragraphs that lead your reader on, and your skill grows with practice. Another way that you can improve your craft is through critique groups. You want to find good critique groups, but once you join, you get feedback on your writing. It's just things you don't see. It's your blind spots. And critique groups are really good for that. They're an invaluable way to gather knowledge. So join a critique group before you self-edit, and then send your manuscript to an editor. Your critique group will help you find your blind spots, from punctuation and spelling and typos to grammar and plot holes. I like to think of critique group members as readers, like what is the thing that will trip up a reader, and you'll get that feedback from your critique group. I'm sorry, I have a cold, I'm sick, so I'm not up to par today. So joining a local writing group is a great way to do this. You get feedback on a consistent basis. And not only that, having new material for your critique group spurs you on to writing. So it works both ways. If there isn't a local group, you can also find online critique groups. I know I just joined a critique group with Sisters in Crime, and this group focuses particularly on writing traditional mysteries. So joining an online group can help. It isn't quite the same as in real life, but you still get that feedback on your writing. You also can join professional writing organizations, as I just mentioned. Sisters in Crime has a lot of feedback, and you can make connections with other writers. It may not be a whole group, but sometimes writers join up to spur each other on and to critique each other's work. Um, there's also forums you can join online. It isn't particularly critique group as such, but if you have a specific question, sometimes you get your questions answered in writer forums. So by the time you've expanded your circle of writing and author friends, you'll know more about how to improve your own writing and the best way to spend your writing budget, and you'll discover tips and resources you would not have imagined if you'd not connected with those other writers. So other writers are an important part of improving your writing craft. Then, of course, there are craft books, and there's many of them, and you can search search online for the best craft books, and you'll find multiple lists of craft books of the best, right? But more important than being the best is that the book resonates with you and your writing style. So build your craft library, but make sure it resonates with you. That is the most important part about building your craft book library. There's baseline books like the elements of style that keep you on the straight path of composition and basic grammar. And then at the other end of this scale is Steven Pinker's The Sense of Style, which examines 21st century diction and things like that. There's a book I love, which is Ursula K. Le Guin's Steering the Craft, and she has specific writing exercises that take you deeper into your craft. I like that book for just that reason. The exercises draw you in and expand your writing skills. And then, of course, on just about everyone's list of craft books is Anne Lamott's Bird by Bird. There's a reason it's on so many lists, and because it's both practical and inspirational. I have craft books that are out of print. You can't even get them anywhere, but I still use them, and I keep adding. For instance, I just this week got Writing Down the Bones, and I highly recommend it. It's very inspirational. And so keep adding to your craft books and use your library. Just don't have them sitting on a shelf. Refer to them. I like to think of at least once a week to return to one of your craft books, whatever they are, and spend time with that book, either reading and doing an exercise and practicing what those craft books have to offer you. So find the books that resonate with you and use them. That's the best way to use writing craft books. And then editing tools also help you improve your craft. Things like Grammarly or Pro Writing Aid. They don't just catch your errors, which they do, but they also explain why you should make that change. And if you keep seeing the same thing popping up over and over again, it's kind of a little trigger, And as you're writing, all of a sudden you'll start noticing when you make those errors, and you'll fix them as you are writing. And that's another way that you can improve your craft, is editing tools. And then finally, I want to talk about editors. All right. Editors, oh my gosh, a good editor is your best friend when it comes to improving your craft, because the editor's feedback gives you fresh eyes on your writing craft, and and it's unbiased feedback. It's unbiased. So they just let you know what is happening with your manuscript, and you'll know the strong points of your writing. A good editor is going to tell you this, as well as the places where you need to improve. And as you work with your editor, you'll find that you start noticing, as you continue writing, you'll find that you start noticing those places where last time you needed to make an improvement, and now you recognize that spot in your writing. And a story editor or a developmental editor will point out places where your story doesn't work. There's a clunk, right? They'll uncover plot holes and sequencing problems in your story, and they'll also uncover character anomalies and other things that can bring your reader up short. It's one of the things that happens when we're writing a manuscript is it takes a long time, and oftentimes we don't recognize what happened at the beginning of the manuscript and what happens later on in the story. And that developmental story editor can help you smooth things so that your entire manuscript works best. All right. And then a good copy editor ensures your writing flows, and you meet good writing conventions, and smooth writing makes it easier for your reader to read your story. And so you want to pay attention to your syntax. And the thing is that when you work with an editor over time, you'll see those same editorial changes, and you'll start to see them as you are writing, and you're improving your craft as you go. So I just wanted to emphasize that paying attention to your writing craft is an important part of being a writer. You don't want to neglect it. You want to focus on it. I would say once a week, just think about focusing on your craft, other than your story, and it's kind of a check on yourself to make sure that you are improving your craft. Okay, that was it for today. Always be improving your craft, and one of the ways you can do that is to pay attention to other writers, how they write, how their words sound, how their story progresses. And I think a great way to do that is to listen to other stories. And Audible is a sponsor of Write a Killer Mystery. And if you haven't experienced Audible, there's a link in the description below for a 30-day free trial. And that is another way to improve your craft. All right, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.